Warning: the following content is unethical and only being shown for educational purposes to combat this manipulation and how to not fall victim to it. I do not condone any type of harmful behavior that is committed due to this video. I am simply an observer who teaches what he has learned. Yo guys, it's EG here. I will be covering a different topic than usual. I have spoken about many different methods of manipulation previous to this video. But today, I have managed to interview an online manipulation artist who makes $1,000 a month through these acts. So let's get right into it. So introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Takaso. I am currently a student, but on my free time I like to make money through taking advantage of stupid people through the internet.
Why do you do these acts?
Honestly, I am just bored.
Okay, so to begin, how do you actually do these tasks?
I used an alternate account, which I disguised as a female, because men nowadays tend to be attracted to women just for the fact they are females. My goal was to find someone with a huge lack of control and sexual tendencies, so they would do an erotic roleplay with me. Before acting, I used my main account to make him look like a pedophile, and put a psychological pressure against him. I did it by saying things such as, "You have done quite a lot of ERP. Did you know that my sister is a minor and you sent her nudes?" He did not question the validity of my statements since he was in a stressful situation. People tend to overlook details when faced with something out of their control. Lastly, to make him psychologically collapse, I threatened to dox him as I gained his IP pretty easily by making him click on a harmless link. I sent him his private information with my main account, which we'll be calling a. I then asked him to do something quite useless as an act of redemption, write an excuse letter, something innocent. Then the fool got deceived again. I used my alternate account to share fake nudes and have ERPs with him, just to create a false scenario where he is an hacker and he obtains the personal informations of the alternate account as well. This induced more fear.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, here is me getting paid. I also get my victims to write my name on them.
Where do you find these victims?
Mostly on Discord, dating servers, roleplay servers, any server like those where you can find weird idiots to prey on.
Explain to me the best manipulation technique you guys use.
Sure, is the concept of intermittent reinforcement. This mostly works on victims who are bullied and have bad connections with their families, so they use Discord dating servers as an escape. So basically, let me show you what the psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered, is that while behavior is often influenced by rewards or punishment, there is a specific way rewards are doled out that can cause that behavior to persist over long periods of time, causing that behavior to become less vulnerable to extinction. Consistent rewards for a certain behavior actually produce less of that behavior over time than an inconsistent schedule of rewards. He discovered that rats pressed a lever for food more steadily when they did not know when the next food pellet was coming than when they always received the pellet after pressing, known as continuous reinforcement. When we know to expect the reward after taking a certain action, we tend to work less for it. Yet when the timing of the reward or the certainty that we'll get it at all is unpredictable, we tend to repeat that behavior with even more enthusiasm and hope for the end result. We relish the joy of a hard-earned reward that much more.
Go on.
So, for example, for one of my victims, in the first months I met her, I had to isolate her completely from any form of attention given by others. As I said earlier, in real life she was constantly abused, so she felt loved only by me. Then I started applying this concept to her feeding of love. The fact I was ignoring her made her think my happiness was dependent on her, so she started flooding me with texts thinking I need him to notice me. If I do enough, I'll lose him. That's a common way of thinking of people of her nature. In fact, I threatened to leave her more than once to create this desperate need. She first was against sexual interactions, but I slowly and gradually introduced the concept with acts like hug, kiss, etc. All of that using roleplay, but she saw it as actual acts. This was done for months. With repetition, you can end up brainwashing people, and suddenly she did herself for me, and this created a sexual obsession for me. The fact she experienced those feelings the first time with me had a huge effect. This basically led her to be obsessed over me to the point where she would buy me nitro, send money, etc.
What other deceits do you do?
So in this, the fraud involved different steps. The first, of course, is finding the victims. I started by joining a safe place community, an exclusive community for lesbian girls. To begin acting, I need a little reputation first, so I befriend most of the people there. I obviously had to fake myself as a girl, which is quite difficult to some. I changed my personality to something more radiant, outgoing, and curious without using terms used more by males. Another thing I did was make grammatical errors designed specifically to resemble the others. The explanation behind this is that human beings tend to develop a likability for people who reflect their body language or style in general. It's subconscious. Showing yourself to be similar to them will guide them into comfort. I found a girl with a fairly high financial availability, and I made friends in the chat using the principle I explained before. Everybody loves people who are similar to them, so copying her behavior and displaying her interests allowed me to create a bond quickly. I've grown my likability for her so much that it led her into her giving me nitro. After this, I immediately insisted that she shouldn't have done that, and that she was too nice to me, which made her think of me in a positive way, such as she's such a caring person to be around with. That's because girls easily overthink compared to guys. Not doing that would have potentially raised suspicion in the future. We got to talking about our birthdays. I gave a date close enough, but not too close to the current date. About 3 weeks later, given my personality, she immediately asked me what I wanted for my birthday, which I answered with, I like playing Roblox, an indirect answer, which does not indicate my real goal, but rather suggests it, because my goal is consuming her while she's unaware. We continued the discussion even further until she offered to give them to me, which I refused in the same way as I refused the nitro, to then say something like, just for once, just please don't spend that much, which led her into spending even more. The more favors she does to me, the more she's likely to do for me in the future. In her mind, my happiness can be bought only with money because I overreact positively when she does that. This triggers the reward system in her brain, making her more available to buy stuff for me. These methods are usually used by females to control boys.
Damn, that's crazy. What's the worst thing you guys have done?
I doubt you would want your video to get taken down, so I'll refrain from that topic.
So there you have it, guys. A lot of the topics of this video were completely unethical, but I made this video to show how all you guys want to be manipulators like ayanokoji. What actual manipulation can look like, and how to not fall victim to these traps online and in real life. Peace.